The axe is the most dangerous tool on your homestead. There's tons of severe injuries and minor injuries caused every year by axes. Felling trees, chopping down trees, splitting wood is about the most dangerous activity that you can do. In fact, wood cutting, professional logging and wood cutting, is the most dangerous job description in the entire US. So you've got to be careful and give these things respect. However, the axe is the most handy tool on your homestead, and you almost can't really do without it. So you've got to learn to respect it and to follow safety rules. Safety rule number one is you need space to swing. Nobody can be going around you. It even helps if you have a dedicated little splitting area. Maybe have a little roped off section or a small little wooden fence section where nobody comes in if somebody else is in. Only one person in there at a time. And that's a good, safe principle, especially if you have a lot of kids. But just make sure no other person walks within 10 feet, because wood can go flying, axe handles can break, and the head can fly off and hit someone. Be careful. You want a sharp bit. A sharp blade on your axe is safer because it's going to ricochet off of the wood less. Sharp bits are safer. You also want to make sure that your chopping block is sturdy and the wood on your block is steady. This is fairly steady. That's not really going to fall off. If I turn this over, it's got a bad angle, it's going to want to fall over. Right now, if I just bump it, it's about to fall over. If your wood happens to start to fall as you swing, you're going to tend to nick the side of it and ricochet out. That's dangerous. You've got a sharp, heavy tool ricocheting this way. It can come right into your leg, your shin, your knee. Don't do that. Make sure your wood is stable on the block. Never, never, never think I'm a really good aim. I'm going to hold this wood right here and go swing something like here. Don't have your hand floating around here and operate your axe one-handed. Sometimes we can do one-handed axing, but you know, keep your second hand on the axe. That way it's out of the way and you'll have a firmer, stronger swing anyways. Keep both hands on the axe at all times. When you're carrying the axe, you want to carry it with the bit or the sharp part of the blade away from you. Carry it this way, carry it like this. I can carry it this way. I can hold a little lower. I'm not going to hold it way down like this because my legs are swinging in front of the axe blade and I can end up getting my leg with it. You can carry it with two hands. Two hands is better, always better. But keep the blade away from you when you're carrying it, out and away. Right, none of this here over the shoulder. You trip, this axe goes this way. You don't want that going towards your head or neck. Carry it with the bit away from you, controlled so it's not swinging. And don't leave it laying around with the blade exposed. Put it away, put a sheath on it, or stick it into a piece of wood so somebody can't come and get their leg caught on the blade. The axe is best used on small pieces of wood. The axe does not work on big pieces. This block I will not split with an axe. I can split this with my maul or with a wedge, but I can't split this big piece with the axe. I can split something like this. This is a piece of cake for the axe, like a little smaller. You know, I could split this with the axe, no problem. Small pieces. You know, if you're talking, you're getting up to 10 inches plus, the axe is starting not to be the best tool for the job. Green wood especially splits harder. Fully dried wood splits a lot easier. Wood with big knots in it, green wood with knots in it, you might not be able to split that at all with an axe. You're probably going to need a maul or a wedge. The proper swing with an axe. The proper swing with an axe is two hands. I'm having I'm right-handed, my right hand goes up. Bring it up, hands go together, and down fast. If you're not really accurate with the axe, get your distance first. Up and swing. Now, did you see what just happened? Not that I hit the wood and it kind of didn't split cleanly. What I did was kind of missed the block. That's dangerous. I need to have this piece of wood in the middle of the block or even on the further edge of the block so that when I hit it, as I swing through, I want the block to stop the axe. If I swing and the block doesn't stop the axe, like it just happened, I can go right down towards my feet and legs. Not fun. That's why we like big blocks for chopping blocks too. There we go. A good swing involves the back and it's fast. I want to go up and down fast. Here's a point, watch. I'm going to just go through the motions again. Up and down. See how I'm kind of sinking on my knees a little bit? If you don't sink on your knees, that's dangerous. If you just go stiff back, you are going to be swinging at this angle. Swinging at an angle means you are working towards your legs with the blade. If you kind of sink down, I'm swinging at this angle. It's not really going towards my legs much. It's also a lot easier on the back to just bend the knees a little. You're not working your back as hard. When you're splitting a piece of wood, here's a really important piece of information. Let's find a nice fat one. Here we go. This one looks a little bit harder to split. All right. When you're splitting a piece of wood, you don't want to just aim here. That's another part of my, you can even practice without the piece of wood there a few times. I want to swing just like that, whether or not there's a piece of wood here. I want to hit the bottom piece with the axe, hit my chopping block. So as I swing, I'm going to hit here and I'm going to keep pushing the axe all the way down and try to get it to the bottom. See? Just like that. If you don't follow through, as it's called, or swing through the piece I'm trying to split, then it's probably not going to split. It's going to take a lot more work. It's all about swinging fast all the way through, not just swinging hard and trying hard. See? I know it's working if the axe gets almost stuck in that lower block every time. That one didn't quite split. There we go. This one's got a big knot in there. If your axe does get stuck, don't hammer on your axe. Just work it loose. Usually you can just kind of pull it and split it apart. And be a little gentle so you don't break the handle on your axe. Alright, well, that's all there is to splitting wood with an axe. Knots are a bit of a pain to split. If you're having a hard time splitting a piece of wood, it's usually because there's knots in it, just like this one here. There's a big knot in it. Generally, knots on top are harder to split. It's harder to start splitting the wood if the knot's on top. If I turn it over so the knot is on the bottom, it's going to split a lot easier. This upper portion with straight, smooth grain will start to split and force that knot to split open. Even if it doesn't go all the way down, then I can either put a wedge in there and tap it open, or usually I can just pull it apart and split it by hand. The knots down split a lot easier. Also, if your wood's not splitting well, if you have time, just let it sit out in the sun and dry out more. It can take a few weeks, it can take a few months, but if it's more dried and more cured, it's going to split easier. When wood is full of water and natural sap still from being fresh cut, it's much more resistant to splitting. It's more shock absorbent and more spongy. It doesn't split clean. If your wood doesn't split well, check to make sure there's no big knots up on the top. If it is, just turn it over. And maybe you need to let your wood dry out a little more if you have the time to do it. Well, folks, go have a good time. Stay safe, stay active, stay homesteading. Don't forget to click the like button, and I'll catch you later. Bye now.